we're good to go. Hello and welcome to the United Stands. This is our, I nearly said the previous manager there. This is our Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference reaction. Hope you're all doing very well this Friday. Positivity is always the key with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was asked about the FA Cup and said, look, you know, obviously we can't do it, but Manchester United should want to win every game, should win every game. I just love that he gets it. Basically, he's a super fan, isn't he? He has the same expectations that we have. Let's go back to the summer. Let's go back to April when I said I refuse to let Jose Mourinho lower my expectations as a Manchester United fan. He may lower the expectations on the pitch. He may take us down to 6th with negative goal difference. And he may talk about, oh, we should expect this. We're not good enough. But as fans, we're like, no, we should be doing a lot better with Manchester United. And what I love about Ole is that he basically replicates that. He gets that. He talks the way that we were speaking, even when we were playing crap under Van Gaal and Moyes and Mourinho. He's still speaking like we were speaking. He's saying we should be doing better, and I love it. I love it. Some key things I want to talk about before we get into his press conference. Reports from Spain that Alexis Sanchez is still desperate to leave Manchester United. We must be wary of that. Obviously, there's a sea of change. Mourinho's gone and Ole's come in, but you know, is Sanchez happy in Manchester? I don't know. I think that we've got to take it with a pinch of salt, of course, and we've got to say that he will be happier in this system. But we shouldn't just, as I said, there is always going to be a papering of the cracks element, and not everything will turn itself around. I mean, I think we're all expecting Martial, De Gea, Pogba and Sanchez to sign new contracts and stay. You can almost guarantee that life's not like that, and we'll maybe lose one or two of those players. I would hope not De Gea, Martial and Pogba, but Sanchez, who knows? And we already saw Sanchez coming on against Newcastle. He came on the left-hand side for Martial. I don't like that. I don't care who the manager is. I don't like Sanchez on the left. I don't like this, it's Martial or Sanchez. I said it just before Lukaku scored. I don't like that. I don't like Sanchez and Martial sharing the left-hand side. They're two good players. They're two of our top 5 players in the squad. So why should they share the left-hand side? They've got to find a way to play them both, because you can't have Sanchez and Martial having to share one position and then the right-hand side an absolute embarrassment like it is. They've got to find a solution to that. And I really hope that Sanchez does end up being a solution for Manchester United, because I think he's a really important player. The exciting thing about Sanchez is he's going to start the game tomorrow. Lukaku's going to start. Ole said that in his press conference, that Lukaku and Sanchez both start the game. I think that's 100% right. I predicted it on the preview last night. 100% correct. I don't know whether any of you think that's wrong or not, but yeah, I agree with that. He also said something else quite worrying, that if Fellaini's fit enough, he will play. That means that Fellaini wasn't fit on Wednesday, so he would have been on the bench. Maybe our hopes that Fellaini's not part of the squad is unfounded. It might just be to do with injury. Well, what I would say about Fellaini is that I said this before Mourinho begged him to stay. He's always bloody injured as well. Not only is he always crap, but he's always, in the sense of the football we want to play, just doesn't suit it. But he is very injury prone. It was stupid to give him that contract in the summer. He's always bloody injured now. Waste of space in my mind. Another positive, Angel Gomez was apparently going to be loaned out between now and the end of the season, but Solskjaer is reported to have said, no, that's not going to happen. I want to get him involved in first team games over the next few months, which is far better than being loaned out to Charlton or anything like that. And I don't know whether it was going to be Charlton, so I think that will happen. And also just something in the last couple of hours, we've been linked with Carrasco, who's a right-sided player. Only 25 years of age, currently he was at Atletico Madrid, Belgian international, played in the World Cup. He's currently playing in China. For me, it's no. Baggy bottom jeans, no. But it's a big fat no to Carrasco. He's nothing more than a Belgian BTEC Di Maria with the same sort of snake mentality, I believe, that, a 24-year-old who's playing for Atletico Madrid, who's not Brazilian, he's European, and he goes to play in China to make a shitload of money. What is that the mentality that United need? We need to be moving away from that mentality, the money-grabbing mercenary. We need people to come to this club and be, passionate about the club, but passionate about bettering themselves as well. So I wouldn't want Carrasco, whether he's a bloody decent right winger or not. I don't want him at the club because his mentality, in my mind, stinks. You're going off to China at 24. I mean, that's just mercenary-esque. I don't want that. So I hope there's nothing in that. I want to see Chong starting tomorrow. 100%. CW Prodigy says he's scared about Tottenham. Well, don't be, because Ollie's not. I'm not. You know, what happens in that game is we're going to play a good team, and we'll see what happens with it. But what else did Ollie talk about? He was asked about 4 wins from 4. He says, I think we can win every game. That's got to be the expectation of Manchester United. I love to hear that. He was also asked about targets for himself to get the job, and he said, look, it's early days. There will be a process in relation to who's going to be the next Manchester United manager. Obviously, I would like to be involved in that, but I came into this eyes wide open. They said, can you come in and do a job short term for us? We're going to go through a process to appoint the next manager. He says, I'm very focused. You know, he said he was asked about fans chanting his name, wanting him to be the manager. He even mentioned the 99 final and the goal that he scored in the 99 European Cup final. He said, I've seen the goal back loads, but I've never watched the game back because I watched it from the sidelines. I've never felt the need to do that. And when fans are chanting his name, he said, look, I appreciate it, but it's not something that makes me lose my focus. I'm focused on what I need to do. I was the same as a player. I focus on what I need to do as a manager. So speaking the talk absolutely perfectly yet again. And he says in relation to the FA Cup, Manchester United are about winning trophies. Manchester United should be winning the FA Cup. And I think I just want to spend a few seconds on that and say as well, look, this is a manager who's come in, taken over a club on its knees. You can almost say on its arse, you know, lower than your knees, absolutely lying flat down, getting pissed on by everybody. And Solskjaer has took that on. And because of the change in such a short period of time, the fan base is sort of like, yeah, this is great. But we mustn't forget what he took on. An absolute shambles. We just lost to Liverpool comprehensively. We're 6th in the league comprehensively. We're where we deserve to be. Negative goal difference. Negativity around the club. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in and changed all of that in such a short period of time. But beyond that, you know, there's a realistic element to me that says we're going to lose a game. Could be Spurs. We're going to lose a game. Top 4 is ridiculously hard. Getting past PSG is very, very hard. Winning the FA Cup's going to be hard. You know, these are all people are talking about these like these things are going to happen. They can happen, but they're not necessarily going to happen. But what I love about Solskjaer is that he's talking like that as well. You know, he's not sort of setting the bar low for himself. He's not saying, realistically, I came in, it was a mess. If I can get as close to 5th and a good cup run, that's a good thing. He's not. He's saying, no, I want top 4. I want to win the FA Cup and I want to win the Champions League. And, you know, I love that he's setting himself such high expectations. That is absolutely fantastic because realistically, look at what he took over. You know, I even said top 4's gone when he took over. There's no expectation. But what he's done is he's made us believe the impossible. And he deserves massive credit for that. We're going to be going to Dubai. I wish I was. They're going to go to Dubai after the game against Reading tomorrow. He said that we're going to Dubai, warm weather training before we play Spurs the following Sunday. But, and this is the thing that I've been talking about for a while, he says if people think we're going on holiday, they've got another thing coming. He was asked, is Dubai a trip to get to know your players? He said, no, it isn't. I know my players. I've only been here a short period of time, but I've spoken to all my players numerous times, individually and collectively. I know my players, which is brilliant. That is man management. He's probably spoke to his players more in 3 or 4 weeks than Mourinho did in 3 years because he's a man manager. You see that when he comes on the pitch and Lukaku, he's hugging Lukaku, he's talking to Sanchez, he's talking to his unused subs. They might not like it, but he's not going to be somebody who's just treating them like crap. He's there to speak to them, and that's fantastic as well. But the key thing to the Dubai trip that he said is fitness. And we spoke about this a few times. The fitness of this team. He said it's the first time I can really get to work on some fitness because we've seen it with United. Lazy team under Mourinho, doesn't press, pragmatic, sit back, doesn't move the ball fast. Under Ollie, it's intensity, it's move the ball forward, it's obviously pressing, but he needs to get the fitness levels up for the players. If you think we're doing well now, imagine when he's had 2-3 months with us working on the fitness levels as well, and that's what they're going to be in Dubai. It's almost like a pre-season. It's going to be like a pre-season over in Dubai. That's why he wants the warm weather. He wants them down, stripped to the shorts and t-shirts. He's not like that. Don't start thinking like that, you filth. He wants them stripped down, warm weather training. No concerns about frost and muscle twinges and that. Good setting to get on the laps, doing shuttle runs, whatever. It's all about fitness for United next week. And hopefully we'll see in that Spurs game a little bit, they'll go up a gear again. Because fitness is the hardest thing that he's got to sort out at Manchester United. Ollie's going to kill it and going to be our new manager. Believe me, says Amy Adamson. I think there's an opportunity for him to be that. But as I said last night, it's about being realistic and patient. Let's just see what happens over the next 6 to 7 weeks. We've got some big tests coming up. And I, for one, cannot wait to see those PSG games, the Spurs game, the Liverpool game. I can't wait. I'm really excited about what United can do. And if we can come out of this season with an FA Cup trophy, I'll be over the moon. For me, top 4 is what it's all about now. And we mustn't forget that we are now only 6 points off top 4, which is unbelievable that we've managed to pull that down in such a short period of time and give ourselves an opportunity. Because let's not forget, we play Chelsea at Old Trafford. I expect to win that game. So it's down to 3 points. And, that is amazing. Pradman Waki says, if we readily gave managers like LVG and Jose a few years, why not give Ollie a fair chance, given the conditions he got the job in? Your opinion, Mark? I think the only concern with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and it's been mentioned before, is look at what Tim Sherwood did at Spurs and look at what Roberto Di Matteo did at Chelsea. Both former players, both short-term success, given longer-term contracts, and it fell away. It's a risk. It's a risk to give Ollie the job. But a large part of me thinks if he can continue and do really well over the next few weeks and months, then I would take that risk. But I don't know. Who do you think from the youngsters will be in the squad tomorrow, says Azam Arani 22. I think Greenwood's obviously going to be on the bench if he makes it. I got sent something earlier from the Irish Mirror saying that Greenwood's not part of the squad. I wouldn't worry about that just yet because they've got Pogba in the squad and I don't think Pogba will be. So there's no confirmation of that, and I do think Greenwood will be part of the squad. I think Gomez and Chong have got more chance of starting. I would start Chong. I would start Chong tomorrow. But then that would mean Delo and Chong down one side and they're very inexperienced. So I think we'll definitely see Fred. Or hopefully we've got to see Pereira, or I think he leaves. If Pereira doesn't play tomorrow, I think he's gone. But I really want to see Chong. I really want to see Gomez, and I really want to see Greenwood. They're the 3 I want to see. I feel that maybe we'll see Greenwood for 10 minutes, maybe Gomez for 10 minutes, but hopefully we might see Chong start. That's my honest thoughts on that. I'd like Manolas for £33 million, says Dren Kika. Well, if you want transfer news, make sure you watch our Transfer Daily show. It was up this morning at 7 a.m. Link is, if you click the eye in the top right-hand corner, that will take you straight through to that. Really good show this morning. Very interesting, talking about the number 10 and whether United suit a number 10. But I also just want to say about Carrick and McKenna as well. We've all noticed it with Mike Phelan as well. When United are scoring goals at the moment, there's people hugging each other. There's a real buzz. And I think under Mourinho and under Van Gaal to a certain extent, and under Moyes, there was this sort of, I get it a bit, I'm in my 30s. I still play FIFA. I go down the park and I score a goal and I celebrate like I did when I was 8. Age doesn't define me. Young at heart, immature, whatever you want to call it. But I have got friends who, when we were at school, wrestling was massive. And sometimes we'll be out on a night out and I'll start doing the wrestling voices. And one of my mates will do it. And a couple of the other mates just look at us like, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. That's so immature. And that's what I feel like United's been like for the last 6 years. It's like, your friends who grow up and frown at that sort of stuff. And Mourinho and that, they never really celebrated like that. But Solskjaer is like that kid that's not grown up. I mean, oil of Ule every day. He's got a beautiful complexion and he looks very similar to what he did when he was playing 20 years ago. But also it's that, after the game he's there with the away fans and the home fans. He's like that. When we score, he's like that. Why not be like that? It's great. And Carrick and McKenna are responding to that as well. And why not? What are the rules? Get a new rule book? Why? Why do people have to be serious on the touchline? Let's see a bit of passion, and we're getting that. But also, it's got me thinking, there's a real improvement in Matic. And we worry about the CDM position. I worry about it. I think long-term Matic isn't the solution. He's getting old. He's too slow. But how much influence were McKenna and Carrick given by Mourinho? I don't think very much. And I think when you look at Carrick in particular, for me, he was one of the most influential United players of the last decade from when he signed in 2006. One of the best midfielders in Europe for the last decade. One of the disgracefully treated by England, but so what? Magnificent for Manchester United, and also for anybody who wants to be a centre defensive midfielder, because that's where I play now. My legs have gone, and I sort of play similarly to Carrick in a very B-Tech way. It's about anticipation, reading the game, and when you get the ball, finding a pass forward. And he's on our coaching staff. Michael Carrick's there, and I think about Pogba, and I think about Matic, and I think about Herrera, and I think if Carrick is allowed to get into the heads of those players, what a player we've got, what a coach we've got there. Even if that's his only job is to sort that out. Massively, massively important. And then you've got McKenna, who's very synced in with the youth setup as well. It's a good time. It's a good time for Manchester United at the moment. Look at what Zidane did at Madrid. Better example, ex-club legend, says Kieran Byrne. If Oli is replaced in the summer, should he keep working at United as a coach, or do you think he will be distraction from the new manager, says Duke Leon. Thank you, Duke Lion. Thanks for the contribution, Duke. Please do drop a like on the video, everybody. Let's see if we can get 500 likes while we're live. And I will be live. It's Friday night live tonight, so Alvino will flow. It's a bit more laid back. It's a bit more interactive, so looking forward to that. Well, it's all if, buts and maybes, isn't it? If Solskjaer is given the Manchester United job, he's given the job. If he's not given the job, do you keep him on? I don't think he'd want to. You know, if Zidane came in or Pochettino, would Solskjaer want to be his assistant manager? I don't think so. Why? And why? Why would you do that? If you get Pochettino in, he's got to have his own men. If Zidane comes in, he's got to have his own men. That could be the end of people like Carrick and McKenna as well. So you're not just talking about Solskjaer's future. You're talking about Carrick and McKenna's future at the club as well. I personally feel that if Solskjaer's not given the job, he'll go back to mould, and he'll probably, if he's done a very good job, he'll get offered a job elsewhere back in the Premier League. But I don't necessarily think he'd be successful if he went and got a job at Everton, because this is his club. He knows this club. He says it's like, you know, putting on a familiar pair of slippers. He just loves it here. He knows what it's all about. He knows the mythology. He knows the philosophy. He knows what expected. He's got better standard players. In many ways, Manchester United job is an easier job for Oli than Mould is, or Everton would be, or Cardiff was. It's a much easier job because he knows this job. If he went to Man City, I still think United would be an easier job, even if Man City gave him double the money. Because he knows this club, and he knows what the expectations are at this club, because he played here the best years of his career. So I think this job is the best job for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He knows it, and he's got the biggest chance of success he'll ever have. Whether he gets given that opportunity, we're going to find out in the next few weeks. I can see Ole becoming our long-term manager in the future, says AS7 Alexi. And do you think Bottle will win the league, says Tamjid? I knew somebody was going to ask me about that. Look, I did the watch along on That's Football last night. Thanks everybody who joined in. That's where we do FIFA as well, so make sure you subscribe. I think it's good for the league that Man City won it, but more importantly, as a United fan, I had to want City to win it. I can't accept Liverpool winning the league. They've not won it for nearly 30 years. I don't want them to start winning it now. And I know loads of Liverpool fans, and I get on with Liverpool fans, but they'd say the same about United. It's not a hate thing. It's a rivalry, and they're our biggest rival. I don't want them to win the league. Even though they're probably the best league team in the league, I don't want them to win it. But Man City were impressive last night, and the worrying thing about Man City is if you're Liverpool is Sane looked brilliant last night. Sterling's been good all year. Aguero can do what Aguero does. Silva's back. Fernandinho was very good, and De Bruyne is back and didn't even play. So they've got a very good setup there, and you can't see them losing many games. So Liverpool are probably going to have to win nearly all their games. United could have a massive say in the title anyway. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, just a bit of banter for you. The BBC Team of the Week was hilarious this morning. I think it was Garth Crooks who did it. You know who he put as right back? Valencia. And he put Phil Jones ahead of Lindelof. I think there was another Man United player in it, but he had Phil Jones and Valencia. I mean, BBC or Garth Crooks have been outed there as not watching games and just picking players, because I think every single United fan would say Valencia was the worst player on the pitch by a long way, and somehow he's in the BBC Team of the Week. He was absolutely shite. Just made me laugh. Absolutely made me laugh. Bernardo Silva was very good last night. Snap Fortnite, you're right. So, we've spoken about Sanchez, Carrasco, Gomez. We've spoken about Oli. Yeah, so I think we're just about done. Please do smash a like on video. Make sure you click the eye in the top right-hand corner and go and watch the transfer show. We are live at 8 o'clock tonight as well. Looking forward to that, Friday Night Live. And obviously the match tomorrow. Big game. I mean we're going to win because Reading are shit. But we're more excited to see who's going to play and how they perform. And I think even Lukaku's an interesting one. I want to talk about Lukaku in a moment, actually. Liam Thorpe says, hey, I've been invested into Heath Chong, Skriniar and Dalot for a month or so. Honest opinion, please. And also another player I could invest. Keep it up. I presume you're talking about Football Index, Liam Thorpe. If you don't know anything about Football Index, if you go to the transfer shows we're doing at the moment, the link's in the video description for it. And basically, it's this game where you can buy shares in real players and their price will go up and down. I'm doing very well at the moment. Rashford, Pogba, Greenwood. Hi, I've been invested into Heath Chong, Skriniar and Dalot for a month or so. Honest opinion. I'd invest in Alexis Sanchez or maybe Rashford's going up quite high at the moment. Alexis Sanchez is a United player I'd invest in because his price is quite low, but I think he's going to have a big impact on United and it may even start tomorrow. So, yeah, Alexis Sanchez. And also, if he does leave, transfer news knocks the price up as well. So, yeah. But going back to Lukaku, I wouldn't invest in him. I just want to say about Lukaku, I think it's very important that people keep their feet on the ground. And I was talking to Flex about this morning. He gave Lukaku a high score against Newcastle. And he said he got a goal and an assist. I mean, Flex was actually at the game. Lukaku didn't get a goal and assist. He got a goal. He didn't get the assist. It was Alexis Sanchez. But watching that game, Lukaku, for me, I thought he had a pretty crap game. I know he scored a goal, but there was loads of times where the ball was knocked into his feet and he didn't control it. There was loads of times when he did control it and he gave it a Newcastle player. He's still got massive areas to improve in his game. And I'm looking forward to seeing Lukaku tomorrow because I don't think he played well against Newcastle. I think what he's done well is come off the bench for the last 2 games for 20 minutes and score a goal. And that's invaluable. But is Lukaku happy to do that role at United? No way. And he's right not to be. He wants to be United's number 9, playing every week. He doesn't want to be behind Rashford on the bench. I do. I want him on the bench. He's not as good as Rashford, so I want him on the bench. But long term, Lukaku won't put up with that. So we're either going to have to put Lukaku in the team and go back to Rashford on the bench, or we're going to have to sell Lukaku and get somebody who is happy to be on the bench. Because for me, I don't want Lukaku up front. I don't. Rashford's way better. And Kieran Byrne, I think he is still looking heavy. A month ago he was on about that. But yeah, he's still looking a bit heavy. And Valencia looks heavy as well. Seared, I'd love it if he wanted to be a super sub. Are you off? All right. I like Football Index's Stephen Muzzy. It's great. I'm really enjoying it. I've had a good month on it. And Chris Maloney says, my wife met me on Football Index. Well, if you want to have a go on Football Index, there's forums and everything for it. But go to the transfer video, click the eye in the top right-hand corner, give it a watch. But also Football Index, the link in the video description of the transfer video from the eye in the top right corner, and give it a go. Thanks everyone for watching. We're live again at 8 o'clock tonight. If you've not seen the preview, you can watch that on the channel. There's a funny story at the start of that. As I say, eye in the top right hand corner for the transfer video from this morning. And if you wanted to have a look at Football Index, it's all on there. And tonight at 8 o'clock, Friday Night Live. No FIFA today because it's still school holidays and I'm looking after my kids. And we're going to be finishing off building Harry Potter, which is, its foundations at the moment. We're trying to build Hogwarts, so that's my afternoon. But FIFA and all that jazz will be back next week because the schools are back and everything's back to normal. But thanks everybody for watching. I need to blow my nose, and I'll see you all tonight at 8 o'clock. And make sure you give the transfer video a go. Top eye in the corner. See you soon.